Everybody, welcome to week 5. So we've gone through Microsoft Outlook, we've gone through Microsoft Word, we've gone through OneDrive. Now we're not getting rid of those things, we're going to still be using them, but the focus of our attention is moving from them to Microsoft Excel. So of the kind of big popular apps or programs in Microsoft Office, Excel is probably the one that's least known or the one that causes the most anxiety, in large part because it's not used as much, but it is very much used in professional settings. Doesn't really matter what they are. I mean, lots of different companies and organizations and different kinds of positions use Microsoft Excel. So essentially, what is it? Well, the lecture will go into this in great detail, but I'll tell you a little bit here. This is spreadsheet software. The same thing you'll see in Google Sheets. So, Google Docs is like Microsoft Word. Google Sheets is like Microsoft Excel. And so spreadsheets are basically these kind of repositories in which you can store and organize large quantities of data. Now, I can't say much more than that without going very elaborate on all sorts of things you can do with Excel. Again, check the lecture. But essentially, you're able to organize, kind of store and organize and easily manage large quantities of data, putting them into tables, and then from tables making different kinds of charts and graphs and all sorts of things like that. It's a place where you can do a lot of calculations of significant amounts of data in terms of numbers, things like that. So there are formulas and different kinds of functions you can use in Excel as well. So see it that way. See it as something that really helps you to kind of organize in a very effective and easy to manage way large quantities of data, whether it is just numbers, whether it is dollar amounts, whether it is names for a certain kind of survey or Christmas list or whatever. That's really what Excel allows you to do. Now, again, you need to get into the lecture and really focus on that. So the attention is going to be largely on Microsoft Excel this week, as well as in our discussion board. So the original discussion topic is one that, I'll be totally honest, I don't like very much. So I've actually tweaked it. I've changed it a little bit to make it a little bit, I think, a little easier to talk about and frankly, just more interesting. But we are still going to be talking about kind of the importance of what it is we're covering, this week. So we're going to have a discussion, and then there's 2 assignments that may kind of look unfamiliar, or you might be thinking, okay, what does this have to do with INFT? This is the graphic literacy assessment and the graphic literacy assessment reflection. Okay, what's the graphic literacy assessment? You may know already if you've been in school here, or you may be, in the next term or 2, you're going to encounter this again. There are these workplace readiness tests that you're going to be taking that's going to allow you to get essentially a workplace readiness certification at the end of your time here at Bryant Stratton. And so you're going to be kind of tested on different kinds of things. There's going to be a math component. There's going to be kind of a talent assessment component. There's a bunch of them. I can't remember how many, maybe 5 or something. And then in this class is going to be graphic literacy. So when we talk about graphic literacy, what we're talking about is, can you understand how to read charts and graphs? Do you know how to kind of digest the information that you're getting from them? Now, it could be a pie chart, it could be a bar chart, but it could also be kind of the eye chart that you see at the pediatrician's office when you take your kid in for his physical. It could be basically reading the map that's on the inside of a subway car when you're riding the subway, or kind of the bus schedule or something like that. All sorts of charts and graphs out there. How good are you? How effective are you at being able to read them, to be able to decipher them? Essentially, how literate are you in reading different kinds of graphic representations, hence the term graphic literacy. So this test is not going to count toward your overall grade. It is not going to. So if you get a really poor grade, don't worry, it doesn't affect your grade at all. But it's a number of questions where you're going to be challenged to try to read different charts and graphs. Now, some of these things are kind of at a high school equivalency level. Some of them are at a doctoral level. You're not going to get a 100 on this, and that's okay. The challenge is just to get you to start thinking very seriously about graphic literacy. And so spinning off from that, there is going to be a reflection this week where you're going to talk about that. Kind of, what is the importance of graphic literacy? How do I think I did? But ultimately, why does it matter? Okay, you hear me say this a lot in my notes to you guys on your reflections, is relevance. What is the relevance of this graphic literacy assessment? So that's what you're going to be doing. The graphic literacy assessment, the reflection, you're going to look at the lecture as you always do, and then you're going to do the discussion board. Lots to cover, but a lot of really interesting stuff. So I hope you get a lot out of this week, folks. Thanks.